Hello, hello. Y'all, I feel like I'm getting Ace Butte flashbacks. I don't know how I really feel about this palette and what I really want to do with it. But let's talk about it. This is my first time using cosmic brushes. This is the Serenity palette. And I chose this palette because I really wanted to try a color story that I felt was very good for the spring and summer. And if you saw my Black Friday videos, you would have seen this palette in there, in me talking about how I felt like there was two very similar palettes and how one felt like it was summer, spring, and the other one felt like it was a fall, winter kind of palette because they had very similar colors. It had the purples and the greens. So this is the Serenity palette. It's definitely an older palette, but I bought so many of these palettes from Cosmic Brushes. So let's pull this out. It's just a simple little cover like that, just very simple. This palette, this brand comes over from the UK, but this brand is very, I would say, super affordable, even though it's coming over from the UK especially. It was like 20 something dollars, y'all. From what I remember. I'll put that amount down below, of course, but let's pop this open. This is the color story. I feel like y'all probably have seen this color story before. I think it was a very popular color story a couple years back. You have most likely have seen this palette, probably. I know I have, and I finally bought it. But let's talk about these colors. Now, the shimmers in here. Y'all, the shimmers in here. If Cosmic Brushes came out with a palette that was just shimmers, I would buy it. I would buy it. I love the shimmers. The shimmers are really amazing, and I was really excited to try this brand because the shimmers was something that a lot of beauty YouTubers had talked about, how they really, really love the shimmers from this brand. While it was from what I remember, it wasn't the best to try to be picked up with a brush. Some of these shades you could pick up with a brush. Some of them I had to apply with a finger. That's a bit annoying, but they were really pretty. This opal shade is really pretty. Unfortunately, I mixed in some of the blue with it, but it is a stunning unicorn. This gold is gorge. Let's try Ether. I wish there were more shimmers in here. I really do. Let's might as well do Wanderer. Look at that. Look at that. That is amazing. I feel like I've hardly touched those. You can totally see it. Look at that. Is that not amazing? Like, the shimmers in here are everything. Look how pretty. Look at that. Oh my god. That is so gorgeous. So I love this for the shimmers. I think they're super duper pretty. My issue is with the colors of the mattes. That's where I get a little bit lost. This is definitely not a beginner palette. It doesn't feel kind of like, what's the word? Like when you have the intuition, like you know what eye looks are gonna do when you look at this. Like you have to think about it a little. I wouldn't say it's necessarily like expert mode because a lot of these shades, like they're all cool toned. So they all kind of go with each other. You know, like you have the purples, the blues, and the greens. I feel like those are all shades in my mind that all go with each other because they all have blue in common. What I don't understand is why they threw this random peach shade in here. Was it to make it interesting? I don't know. I could not figure out how I wanted to use this and what I wanted to do with it. And it's, of course, these shades are wonderful. They're all pigmented. I love all these matte shades by themselves. I think these were all amazing singles. My issue is when I work with them all together, because so many of these are so dark. They're so dark. And there's nothing really in between. Like, here's how I would set these up, okay? Or at least arrange them, put them in categories. I guess categorize. This is light, this is light, this is dark, this is light. This is dark, this is dark, this is light. This is light. I think I would put this in a medium. Dark, dark, light, light, dark. Do you see my problem here? That you have these beautiful shimmers, and then you have these mattes that don't really have a shade in between. You have a very light blue, and you have a very dark blue. Like, I guess you could say this blue is in the middle, but here's the thing. When you try to, let's say we think this blue is like a middle shade, right? Is it really? Because it is so intense. It is so dark Do y'all really think that is a middle shade? It's freaking not. It's not. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to argue. It's not. This is so dark. It is incredibly pigmented. This palette is incredibly pigmented, and I think that's what I mean when I say no middle shades in this. Do you see how dark this blue is? You're telling me you think this is a middle shade to transition from a light to a dark? This is so dark. This is incredibly dark. And this is supposed to be the light color. Honey, that's like the medium shade. What? What? Like, that is insane. You're gonna tell me that that's the shade you're gonna use when you go into this blue? And you're gonna transition this into that? Like, what? This is not a step up. This is not a step up. You don't add a little bit more blue and then get this shade is what I'm trying to get at. That's what I'm trying to get at. Like, this is, I feel like this was an issue I had with the Ace Beauté palettes, and it had nothing to really do with, like, necessarily, like, the color story or, like, the formula itself. It's just, this color story in this way doesn't really work. I love all of these shades individually, okay? Like, y'all can see this. This is amazing. This is amazing product and value for the amount that you pay. Together in a palette like this is giving me very, like, MUA. This feels like the kind of palette you reach for when you just need that one shade, that second shade. It's hard for me to even really make looks out of this palette without making them look so incredibly intense. I think I'm gonna keep this palette for now. I may eventually give it away, but if you're looking for a super pigmented palette with great shimmers, you're definitely going to find it in this palette. I just don't know if I like these shades, these colors all together. It just hasn't really, like, sold me completely on this palette. I'm interested to see how the rest of my Cosmic Brushes palettes work, but this one's kind of teetering. Like, I don't like to, give away my palettes if I feel like I'm not completely okay with it, because I don't want to deal with that remorse. So I'll keep it for a little bit longer. But what do y'all think? Like, how would you see yourself making, like, an eyeshadow look out of these shades? Like, I don't know how intense it looks on camera, because when I see into my camera, I see like 3 of these shades look almost black. Like, that is crazy. I feel like we could have done something similar, but given us a little bit more range to create kind of more put together looks. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but that's what I think in terms of this palette. I'm going to keep it for now. I definitely don't recommend this for everyone. I feel like you have to be a certain type of makeup eyeshadow lover to enjoy this, because I love makeup and I feel like I didn't fully enjoy this to the way I could have because of the color story that we have in here. Really love these shades. As a color story for Serenity, I don't know. I don't know about this one. This one's definitely a toughie. I'm not gonna give it up right now, but I may have to give it away eventually.